Hi, I'm Heather, and this is knitting update number 42 for Sunday, March 1st, 2026. We are in the month of March. This always feels like the last winter month. It is a long month to get through, and generally the weather isn't that great in March, but it is kind of like the final stretch of winter. We are almost there, guys. We've almost done it. And today it's bright and sunny out, but it's like, I think it's probably -20 with the wind chill or something like that. Like, it feels very cold, and I can always feel it in the house. On colder days, even if we have the thermostat always set to the same temperature, on colder days you definitely feel that it's colder. Anyways, I have two updates to share today, and one of them makes me yesterday me into a liar, but I'm okay with that. So I did end up finishing the body of my white mountain sweater. You can see it there. So I said I wasn't going to work on it, and then once I finished recording my video yesterday, I realized I needed to charge my iPad, so I couldn't use my Knit Companion app to do the color work on my ghost horse. And then I was kind of like, well, I don't need to knit right now. But then I saw this bad boy just sitting out, and I was like, you know what? I just need to do a couple more rows of the ribbing and then the dreaded sewn bind off, which I don't actually mind doing in terms of like the doing it, but it just does take a while. And it takes some focus, but it's not bad. I feel like, especially because I've been doing it so much lately, I really have gotten into the rhythm of it, and I don't mind doing it. But yeah, so I did it. And basically it just took me the whole evening, really, which wasn't bad at all. I think I actually just knit like 2 more rows of the ribbing, and then I did the setup rows, and then I did the sewn bind off. So it didn't take long at all. And it also meant, so now I have my longest cable for my interchangeables is now free. And it also meant that I could actually try the sweater on for the first time, because I was too lazy to put in like scrap yarn or whatever to allow me to try it on, because the cable is too short for me to get over my shoulders. So I hadn't tried it on, but I wasn't feeling the pressure to try it on because I already made a version of this sweater, and so I'm sort of familiar with how it fits. And I guess the only thing is that I'm making this one longer, and also it has a ribbing. My other one just has the rolled hems, but I didn't, I didn't really feel the need to try it on. And when I tried it on this morning, I was really happy with how it fit. I did keep it on, even though I still have to finish the other sleeve, but I did actually wear it for a little bit just because I wanted to see how it would feel. And it is extremely warm. So yeah, I do know obviously the mohair traps in the heat, and then it's also pretty densely knit, and the other yarn is 100% wool, so obviously it is going to be warm. And yeah, it is more of a winter sweater, that's for sure. But I think I'll still get, even, I'm not gonna necessarily push myself to finish this one before the ghost horse, because I have sort of the deadline for the ghost horse, the Nashville trip. So I'd rather just push through and get that finished rather than finish this one first. But obviously I might change my mind on that, or maybe, I'll have to charge my iPad again, and then I'll just finish off the second sleeve. Who knows what will happen, but my plan is to finish this after the ghost horse. So this is the White Mountain Sweater by Midori Hirose. I knit it in Briggs & Little Heritage, which is 100% worsted weight wool from the eastern coast of Canada, New Brunswick, I believe. And then I held it with a Handmaiden Kid Silk mohair, which also is, I'm fairly sure that's also a Canadian yarn. And that one is in the colorway Chai Latte. So it's kind of like a striping yarn that goes from like a grayish to warm brown. And I'm pretty sure the colorway of the Briggs & Little is just light brown. But yeah. And I'm knitting the large, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it's a lovely pattern. I have knit this before. I knit the size medium or medium. There's 2 medium sizes, medium M1 and M2. I think I did the M2. And yeah, I was really happy with how my other one turned out. It's a very different looking sweater. The nice thing with this pattern is there are a lot of options, and also in classic like Midori Hirose knitting pattern fashion, she kind of encourages you to try different yarn weights and different gauges, and it's really nice in that way. So I really like this pattern. I would recommend it. If you're looking for a raglan style, I think it's really nice. And she also has a White Mountains Light, which you can do a sleeveless version. I also think that looks nice. I'm not really big into sleeveless tees or vests, stuff like that. This year is really the first year, or I guess the end of last year is the first year I knit a vest that I actually really like. I haven't shown on here before, but maybe I will. It's in Noro and it's a cable knit vest, and I made it before I went to Florida in December, and I actually didn't think I would wear it that much. I just really like the pattern, and I had the yarn and I wanted to use it. And I thought actually I would like it better over long sleeve shirts, even t-shirts. So I thought, oh, this is a great, basically year-round garment, depending on how you layer it and whatever. And I ended up wearing it as a sleeveless tee with nothing underneath, or sleeveless top. And that was my favorite way to wear it. And I actually haven't even worn it over long sleeve tees since I've been back. But anyways, enough about that. Let me show you, oh no, the Ghost Horse. And this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, aka Boylan Knits. It's one of her older patterns. I think she released it in 2019. Sorry, just let me get it organized. And I've made a good amount of progress on this, I feel like. Sorry, even with the longer cables, it's still falling off the needles. So I wanted to finish a row. I couldn't quite make it, but I finally came to the end of my first, well, I guess second ball of yarn. The first one I came to the end of was the Sock Yarn Mini Skein, but now I came to the end of the first silk mohair, tweed cloud, whatever the Shibui knits. So yeah, I wound up the next skeins. I don't like winding up all my yarn at the beginning. One reason is the other day I did that, and then I didn't end up using a lot of the yarn for the project. And if I hadn't wound it all, I probably could have exchanged it for something else. So that was a good reminder to not wind all your yarn, because also what if you change your mind and you don't finish the project, or you frog it and maybe you don't like the yarn? Yeah, I'd rather just wind it like as I need it, which is annoying, but that's how I like to do it, I guess. I did wind the rest, like, because I only have 2 skeins of the Malintosh in both colorways, the Optic and the Onyx, so I did wind both of those, which kind of made me sad, because I think I said in a previous video that those have been in my stash for a good, I want to say 15 years. So it felt kind of, it was kind of hard to wind them actually, knowing that they had been in my stash for so long, like in the skein. I don't know, it was stupid, but whatever. Let me show you. Look at those horses. They're progressing quite nicely. Actually, can I just say, I was pretty apprehensive about this, working on this project. I have not been a fan of color work lately. I think I've said this in a previous video, so if you've seen me complain about it already, I'm sorry, but I felt like last year, the year before, I kind of got really into doing color work. I thought, oh, this is great. You know, I did my Six of Daisies with the Intarsia. I did the Caitlin Hunter Curse Project, the Halibut cardigan. I did a different sweater I never showed, but it was like a vintage pattern with, it's called Day at the Farm, and it had all farm animal motifs on it. I was going kind of hard on the color work stuff. I thought, oh, this is my favorite. This is so fun. And then, I don't know, then I started doing textured knits, and I was like, no, this is what I love. But you know what? I will say, to Caitlin Hunter's credit, this is a great color work pattern to work on. Like I said yesterday or the day before, not many long floats. Like, there was a section, but now I'm back to not having to do any float catching. And it does make a huge difference. Like, the most annoying thing about this project is having the 4 balls of yarn. That's why I kind of waited until I was finished the one, and I was like, okay, I can It's easier to manage if I don't have 4 balls of yarn to sort of carry around to show this. But yeah, that's like the most annoying thing, and that was my choice because it could have just been 2 balls of yarn if I did it that way, but I wanted to use my stash yarn. And honestly, wow, I think this is looking great. I do have a little fear that maybe I shouldn't have picked the size 4. When I was switching over to the longer cable this morning, when I had both the cables, I could try it on, sort of. It's just the yoke right now. So it is also hard to gauge, but it does seem like maybe it's going to be a little bit big. And then also I forgot that these are superwash yarns. Well, the mohair, the silk mohair is not superwash, and it won't grow because it's a silk mohair and it has no real stretch to it. But I don't really know how that works when you have the superwash of the Malintosh. So I guess my fear is, like, should I have done a size 3 knowing that it is superwash and superwash has a tendency to grow? I mean, it's hard right now to even tell if it is too big, and I feel like once I'm done the yoke, I can kind of gauge it better. I could even stop on an earlier size, like I think it's only 3 or 6 rows different if I stop at like the size. It's like split. No, it'd be like size 1 to 3 and then size 4, 5, 6. Anyways, it wouldn't make that huge of a difference, but I guess if I feel like it is a little bit too big, I can always do some decreases on the body or the sleeves and make them a little bit smaller, and just the yoke would be maybe a little bit on the big size. But you know what? It's not too small. I'm going to say that. It's not too small, and I feel good about that because a too small knit garment will not get worn by me. And a too big one probably will get worn by me. I think it's looking great. I'm super excited about how this is going, and I'm going to work on it some more this afternoon. Yeah, I feel like I've only said good things about this, except for the neckline. And I think the way that I compensated for the too wide neckline worked out really great, at least so far. And like I said, it does fit over my head because that was my other fear that maybe I overcompensated, but no, it fits great. And I should have taken a little picture when I tried it on this morning, but too late now. I think it's gonna look really good. Even with the longer cable, it's still so bunched up. But yeah, I'm so excited to see the horses coming through, and then I really like the rest of the pattern too. So let me show you one more time. The backside is always better because it's a little less crowded. So yeah, super cute. I can't wait to wear this. I don't think I'm gonna like wait until we go on our trip if I finish it before then, which I'm sure I will. I'm just gonna start wearing it. Maybe they'll even wear this to Knit City, but I don't know. I might wear it depends on the weather that day. Anyways, that's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.